Today in this pilot episode, we're talking about the end of Muse Dash's Justice Plan DLC pass, Phigros celebrating its 4th year anniversary, Sega announcing maimaiDX Buddies, and many more. I'm Michiko, and this is the Running Game Roundup. Welcome to the Running Game Roundup, where we talk about the latest news and updates from your favorite running games. And our main story today is a bit of a doozy. So strap in your elephants, I personally would pick Lil Nurse, because we're going to talk about Justice Plan. Justice Plan is a DLC unlock pass on top of the $2.99 to buy the full version of Muse Dash, where players who purchase it will receive all current and future DLC song packs, elephants, and a plethora of illustration knickknacks to cheer you up during loading screens or to blast people's eyeballs with borderline etchy artwork, though you can disable some of them, by the way. A $35 upfront charge from $30 before July 8, 2022 for access to everything the game has to offer you in the present and in the future is such a no-brainer for those who crave its amazing song library and gameplay experience. As of version 3.7, the game hosts a total of 407 songs, 11 characters, 3 elephants, and all of its charts and illustrations for those who purchase Justice Plan. That's like 8 cents for every song in the game since 2018. It's legitimately amazing how long Pero Games has survived with this payment model. We'll be covering this in a timeline manner, so please bear with me. It was no surprise to me and some of the player base when it was announced on August 31st that Pero Games will reenact some changes into the game, including adding DLC packs outside of Justice Plan, forcing players who have bought and then bought the Justice Plan DLC pass to buy those packs separately. The first of this new DLC pack type will be the upcoming Hatsune Miku collaboration, with 10 songs, a new character, new playfield background, and new Fever Mode background, priced at $8.99. Justice Plan owners will be able to get the Hatsune Miku collaboration pack and future DLC packs like this for free if they open the game and claim it in the first week of the update release. What happens if you miss the 1-week free claim period for Justice Plan holders? Then you'd have the option to buy this special type DLC pack on a discounted price from the original $8.99 price. We still have no info regarding the discount amount during the writing of this episode. What would happen to Justice Plan? It will be suspended from sales on October 4th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. The replacement? Muse Plus. Oh god, there's a plus in the name. Not to fret, this ain't a monthly subscription, it's actually just an offsetted version of Justice Plan. Muse Plus will still provide the same perks as Justice Plan, but without those special type DLC packs included with the purchase. This is good for Android and iOS players because Muse Plus's price can be dynamically adjusted to the amount of separate DLC purchases you've made before buying Muse Plus. In short, the more you buy separately, the lower the Muse Plus price goes down. This new type of large-scale DLC additions to the game will be a rare occurrence, with a projected release number between 0 to 2 updates per year. That means the rest of the game's updates will be playable for those who have bought either Justice Plan or Muse Plus. All of this sounds great. Pero is creating a solution to not only prop up their income flow, but also still guarantees their players the promise of having Muse Dash as accessible as they can be. But of course, some people don't see the announcement with the same conclusion as me and others. Most of the complaints come from this thought of Justice Plan holders feeling they're being left out, as Muse Plus will be replacing Justice Plan later in October. But it's just Pero closing off JAP and leaving it as a legacy payment model. Pero will still be honoring JAP holders the same promise given all those years ago. And if the price of Justice Plan keeps increasing every year as more songs gets added into the game, or even worse, every big collab like Miku releases, then more people will have a harder time to purchase the ever-increasing price of the JAP DLC pass, making it much more exclusive for early birds and punishing those who missed the low prices all those years ago. Of course, we couldn't avoid the eventual review bombing of both Muse Dash and the Justice Plan DLC Steam pages, filled with players complaining about another big company being incompetent of fulfilling its promise to the player base. The backlash of this announcement had caused Pero to release a statement to its Bilibili account, and as of September 6, a global statement on their Twitter account. Sorry for keeping everyone waiting. Through various efforts, we have determined that all Just As Planned players, whether they are occasionally online, not online during the collab period, or never online again, will directly obtain all DLCs updated this time and in the future, without having to log in to get them. Muse Dash operations team sincerely apologizes for any inconvenience caused by this incident. This incident reflects the team's immaturity and unprofessional. We will deeply reflect on this and make improvements. Muse Dash has come to this day because of everyone's support and love. We sincerely thank every player who supports and inspires us. We will continue to work hard to bring better content and works to everyone. The initial responses from Pero Pero Games' Bilibili posts were mostly met with amusement and maybe smug-looking comments, though I would fully blame Google Translate on this since it can't properly translate Chinese. They fought and won their rights as consumers were promised to receive future updates with their Just As Planned purchase. At the other end of the spectrum, bowing down to guaranteeing Just As Planned holders with this universal high-tier DLC claims is being super duper generous. The entire reason of Pero Pero Games closing the Just As Planned DLC pass is to allow more income for the game's development, and one of their ways to incentivize players to keep playing the game on a consistent basis was the previously set 7-day free claim period. It's not a perfect initial solution, but that was what we got previously. Yes, maybe for some players who have good reason to be unable to open the game during the 7-day period might get a wreck from this arrangement, but Pero Pero Games could have just extended it to 14 days or even 30 days. From my eyes, and this entire section is only my speculation, is that Pero Pero Games is hoping that their big DLC packs, which includes the upcoming Hatsune Miku collaboration pack, would generate financial traffic instead of only player traffic who have bought the Just As Planned DLC pass being able to enjoy the game with no additional cost. If they are unable to attract brand new players to purchase song packs on their mobile devices or even buying Just As Planned on Steam, then the funding would essentially grind to a halt. Not even merch sales are gonna save them. I just wish they would have thought of an alternative game feature or incentive that'll attract Just As Planned DLC holders without breaking the agreement, the promise, of providing every single feature update for free from this one-time purchase. In short, Pero Pero Games is setting up Muse Plus as a replacement to Just As Planned to adapt their future funding flow with special non-Just As Planned DLC song packs. They will still be honoring the promise of free updates for legacy JEP holders for the foreseeable future. Muse Plus will be servicing those who have bought individual song packs in mobile and Nintendo Switch platforms, and allowing PC players for a more accessible entry price to enjoy the game, and giving the option to buy the special DLCs separately if it fits their tastes and interests. So there's no better time than any to buy the Just As Planned DLC pass before the midnight of October 4th. You'll still be supporting Pero Pero Games, and with your eventual legacy status, every single Muse Dash update will be free to unlock forever. It'll be interesting to see what you guys think of this whole situation. Are you in support of the previous Just As Planned arrangement, or did you think the pushover from the possibly small subset of the player base made Pero Pero Games change the rules for the better? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Alright, that was a heavy start to this pilot episode, but the show must go on. So let's take a look at the other stuff that Pero Pero has announced previously. Mentioned previously during the Just As Planned debacle, there's an upcoming collaboration pack with Hatsune Miku. Still no info as of the writing of this episode, but if the same treatment was planned as the previously released Neon Abyss collaboration pack, we would get more info about a week or two from the announcement date. Alongside it, there will be a mega update to the Just As Planned Plus song pack in version 3.9, with 10 songs including Random by Sobrum and Silent Room, Grow Rabbit by Leaf, Helixir by Dan, Jack PT Boss by Muke, and many more. Just look at this poster. This is a mental lineup of songs. From hanging out with muses to hanging out with your IRL play buddies? Yes, as the final update cycle of Festival Plus comes to a close, a brand new MaiMai version has been announced. On September 14th, Japanese players will be greeted by the brand new MaiMai Deluxe Buddies. Buddies. Wrong logo there. Whoa, that's not appropriate. There we go. My first thought of the name was, what a goofy name. Clearly a huge jump from Universe and Festival. Some new and improved features include a new achievement and deluxe scoring online leaderboards for 2-player plays. The sync badge will be attached every time you play together with someone else, instead of both players needed to full combo together. Chart speeds will be able to be adjusted in 0.25 increments. Very nice. Song sorting based on BPM, and hiragana and katakana characters are allowed in player names through the maimaiDX.net website. Kinda weird and funny how it took 11 years for the game to be able to support its own language characters. Fair enough, the later slots are only 8 characters, but it's cool nonetheless that the option is now available. Oh, and Verforte Artavain by Origento as the former Otomodachi boss song in Festival will be available to play by anyone when the update is released. Really cool stuff, but as Twitter user Muffleberry pointed out, Buddies is now the second to last major update when compared to the original 6 Maimai versions. Makes you wonder how the heck Sega is gonna continue to iterate the Maimai versions in the future. Anywho, apparently August 31st is the day that keeps on giving. It's the birthday date of Hatsune Miku, and for us pigeon enthusiasts, it's the anniversary date for Phigros. 4th anniversary to be exact. And their way to celebrate this year wasn't a new main story pack, they've only just released Chapter 8 last April, but a brand new pack type called Extra Story Pack. The extra part is meant to fill in the story around the events of Chapter 8, but what makes this chapter a surprise to the player base is the fact that all songs in here are Camellia songs. So much so that the in-game label for the pack is not side story or extra story, but it's just Camellia or Camellia. Wild, just wild. The reveal hype around it and the contents of this update didn't disappoint either, as the song selection and charts are simply out of this atmosphere. Eh? Get it? Exit this atmosphere? Alright, I'll stop. Extra story pack BassAreUs includes Satellite from the Heart of Android album, Labyrinth in Kowloon Walled World from the UUFO album, Dance with Silence, Computer with some devilish alcoholic steampunk engines, and Terabyte Connection from the Terra IO album. I'm just glad that we got an electro swing jazzy song in the game. Personally, I feel it's an underrepresented genre in rhythm games. Overall, a ridiculous song packs with its insane difficulties lineup, like I could count the amount of 15s in here with an entire hand's worth of fingers, with Terabyte Connection and Satellite receiving another charts. During the update release on August 31st, players are starting to find some differences on the another difficulty chart of Terabyte Connection between Android and iOS platforms. As it turns out, Pigeon Games had accidentally published the Android version of the update with an outdated, unpolished version of the AT chart, and the iOS version containing the correct one. The bug fix update was released the following day on September 1st on the Google Play Store, and both platforms now have the proper AT chart. Around the same time, Pigeon Games' other renegame Rizline is receiving a new update on September 1st. The Games' Support Us limited time event has been updated with a new song called Super Universe Knighthood Remix, replacing the previous event song The Last Page by AR Forest. The Last Page will be brought back into the game as a ZxEX song in the next 2 weeks' time. Oh yeah, the game now has separate song libraries now. The default song list that you've known and loved from the Let's Start the Journey Together event are now labeled as Disc 1, while ZxEX will house future collab songs and paid tracks. Alongside Super Universe, a new free song was added to Disc 1, Lavender Leaf, featuring Lexi by Vowboy. What makes this song interesting is the fact that the entire full version was added into the game, and the song's vocals are sung by Lexi. For a bit of cool trivia, Lavender Leaf's last appearance in a rhythm game was in Ravon, with the song's duration getting cut down and the lyrics sung by Vowboy himself. When Ardolf commented about the song duration on Twitter, CN115, the lead programmer of Pigeon Games, responded, "Many rhythm games have such like hidden rules, but if we can try to break them, I think it would be good. I hope game producers and composer can achieve a better experience through such attempt. Anyway, it won't be too many." Broken English aside, it's great to see Pigeon Games experimenting and breaking the mold of the so-called hidden rules of rhythm games. Being able to experience the full song without having it cut down to a max duration of 2 minutes 45 seconds is a refreshing take, and it's not going to be a common occurrence either, so no harm, no foul. On September 9th, Rizline has released a small but very meaningful UI update, in which for the first time, the game will actually give you detailed info about your past plays. Not only that you'll be able to get to know that the perfect judgment title is actually hit, and then the bad and miss were carried over from Phigros, but also able to see a graph of your offset, which is really interesting. I don't think that there are many mobile rating games that have this kind of offset graph, which will be really helpful in calibrating your mobile device's offset. I'm doing this very ad-lib here because I'm doing this very last minute, but considering Rizline still doesn't have an offset wizard to this day, seeing this graph will probably help you to concentrate and focus your offsets much more meaningfully. I personally still play the game on 0 millisecond offset, but hopefully you guys will be able to use this brand new UI update for your own benefit, because my god, you're gonna need a lot of grinding time for the game, considering its song prices. There's quite a lot of stuff that has happened in the world of rhythm games throughout the past 2 weeks, so let's take a detour and venture through the event cycle. On August 30th, Rotaeno released its first ever side story pack titled Where Our Story Began. The song pack contains some recognizable song names such as Magenta Potion, Sense, and even a couple of original songs, which are Looking for Stella by Junk and Fate of Aria by Hyun featuring Hanatan. I personally hadn't checked the update myself, but I am stoked to see what Dream Engine Games has in store. I'm a little bit burnt out from the previous two-parter Rotaeno and Kalpa collaboration. On September 1st, an unprecedented collaboration happened between Dynamix and Paradigm Reboot. Considering the past works Tuner Games has done amongst the Dynamix community, seeing this collab was such a surprise. You might even say explosive, like a dynamite, if you know what I mean. Paradigm Reboot receives a varied and historic list of songs from Dynamix, including Little Boy and Hoshizora Travel. Meanwhile, Dynamix gets the bangers from Paradigm Reboot, including Restricted Access, Rondo of the End, and Suta Monday. From Paradigm's perspective of labeling this collab as Volume 1, we might even see another set of songs to be crossover between these games in the future. Alongside the duo collab, on September 1st, Lanota started the rerun of the Conflicting Powers event. As the event name suggests, this is the event where Noxy Games brought conflict into the game. The free-to-unlock song in the event is Brain Power Cranky Remix if you reach Step 90 on the event map. With the challenge pass, you'll be able to instantly get Conflict Noma Conceiver Remix, and if you finish the challenge puzzle, you'll be able to get the infamous rhythm game anthem with intriguing special effects, making you casting the Conflict beam yourselves. Just make sure to get the animated Conflict profile picture on the event map to be able to re-experience Conflict after the event ends on September 12th. With the gradual yet successful release of Andamiro's Pump It Up Phoenix, its second update release on September 5th has a wild variety of songs added into the game. We have Chaos Again by Naoki Underground, Groff by Nato, Murdoch by Wonder Traveler Project aka Sound Piercer, which apparently was from Pump It Up Mobile. Who even remembers that port? Loxia by New Musical Ghost, Pirate by Everglow, a K-pop song, RIP or RIP by Ekateve, and the Super Spreader Insanity that is Battle Number 1 by the Tanosi Sound Team. Surprised the Double 24 chart wasn't charted by a multitude of Pump It Up charters. A missed opportunity for sure. Konami has announced a brand new arcade rhythm game. It's called Polaris Chord, and it looks like Konami's next attempt at competing against Sega's Tunedom. As of writing this script, the limited time location event of Polaris Chord is scheduled to start from September 8th to 10th on Tokyo Leisureland Akihabara. We made sure to hold off from recording this until we get some coverage from the location test, and oh boy, glad we did! I jokingly described the game from their promotional images to be an amalgamation of Nostalgia's piano keys, Ongeki's navigation stick, and Project Sekai's tilted playfield. Oh, and the fact that this might be a card collecting idle rhythm game with each character supporting different aspects of gameplay with score boost, combo count, HP guard, and healing. Like, you can't just smash all of those aspects and expect it to be a hit without experiencing 3 layers of skill issue. Oh, and not to mention the fact that pictures and videos of the game are only aimed at the screen, not the controllers, which, fair enough, they could do some tweaking with it, but physically pressing buttons and even catch sliding them? I'm not so sure. The game will come preloaded with collaboration songs from the VTuber duo Himehina and a few recognizable artists such as Colin Create, Yunomi and Nikamok, Canaria, and they even brought up Idol by Yoasobi from Oshinoko. We'll definitely be following the progression and development of Polaris Chord and see if Konami has the guts to push this possibly Japanese exclusive arcade winning game to the masses or not. And with that, we've come to the end. What a wild time to start this show, huh? If you like this rating game news format on the corner cap, let us know in the comments, and we'll be coming back next week if there's actually enough news and updates for us to cover. I have been Michiko, and I'll see you next time. Bye!